you very much, Your Excellency, my dear brother, President John Mahama, Excellencies, heads of state, colleague heads of government, distinguished guests all. We've come to Accra to declare that the age of accountability has finally reached the gravest crime in humanity. We have come to Accra to enter through the door so that we can join hands and ensure that we together can be direct in our requests and in our actions, to defend memory without retreat, to turn recognition into repair, and yes, to build an Africa-Caribbean future with the power to protect our future generations. Let me thank Ghana profoundly on behalf of the Caribbean community to allow us to be here, the government and people of Ghana, coming after your historic resolution in the United Nations earlier this year. We in CARICOM have been fighting now for virtually a decade on this issue of reparations. And we believe that this effort to bring all of our global partners here together in Accra will allow for this too to be regarded as a historic moment. I have said that our attempt to be able to speak in the issue of accountability is critical for us. We live in a world today where people call out people for everything, for misogyny, for sexual assault, for all kinds of behavior. But yet we have not found the moral courage to state unanimously across humanity that this grave crime against humanity that persisted for centuries ought to be declared so by all. That others choose to remain silent is a reflection of them, not of us. We have equally come to say that there should be no retreat on repair. The language used from this platform this morning is not one of aggression, is not one of violence, but it is one of the necessity for healing for humanity. The Trinidadian author Earl Lovelace wrote a book for which he received the Commonwealth Book Prize. It is called Salt. I commend it to all of you because it recognizes in a long labor of love that he took for more than a decade to write it, that it is only through healing that we will begin to truly unlock our potential as citizens of this world. Regrettably, the world in which we function is still very much the child of that old order and of that bigotry that would have declared us chattel and property. There are others who say that there's been slavery before, but ours was the only one to declare us as chattel and as property. I stand here today on behalf of the government and people of Barbados, conscious that our duty is to repair, and our duty is to call for others to repair. Regrettably, our parliament was the first parliament, as you heard from Sir Hilary earlier, to establish the 1661 Slave Code, 2 decades before the Code Noir, which has just been repealed in France. That slave code came to be mimicked, copied exactly in some of the colonies of the United States of America and the Caribbean, and in others used as a platform for their own slave laws. It is the categorization of us as subhuman. It is the categorization of us as chattel, as property, that stripped us of our dignity first and foremost, but equally removed from us the choices that are necessary in life to truly express freedom. We have come to ask that those efforts be coordinated in such a way such that we can bring healing to our population and that we can remove from our legacy those who feel ashamed and injustice at the use of the word black, those who feel ashamed and unfared by reason of the treatment that our people have had meted out to them, and regrettably, through the systems and corridors of power that still reflect first-class and second-class citizens of the world. I believe that our working together with the CARICOM 10-point plan on reparatory justice, which has been revised and which we have brought some copies here to share in Accra, will add to the excellent work which you are doing and the establishment of the committees that will carry on the work for our people. These committees, however, will only mean something if we can stay together united and not allow division yet again to be the anchor for those who want to win against us. This is not a quick journey. In 1896, 130 years ago, the Battle of Adwa was won, and the beginning of the Pan-Africanist movement took root. Almost 70 years ago, in this country, Ghana, you summoned the world to join you as you embarked on the journey of nationhood and independence. Today, in 2026, President Mahama, you have summoned us again to join you. And we, the children of Africa and its diaspora, are clear as to our responsibility and are clear that even though journeys are not always finished by the same people, even though battles are not won by those sometimes who started, that our duty nevertheless must be resolute and our commitment and solidarity unshakable. I have every confidence that we will come to understand that the union of Africa and the Caribbean can bring prosperity and stability to our people. But we cannot do so if we choose only to wait on others to determine reparations. In our own individual countries, the process to development is an act of reparation alone. In my own country, we provide free pre-primary to tertiary education, free health care, and equally, we have undertaken one of the most ambitious forms of land redistribution in the Americas, recognizing that we cannot ask others before we do for ourselves that which is our duty. Once that is done, then we have a responsibility to work together, to bring development to our people. This continent of Africa has been blessed with much, and it is blessed with the development of the demographic bounty, people that will help the 21st century work out the difficulties that we face today. The world is troubled, but we have a pathway through reparations for ourselves, by ourselves, to start the process. And once that process is started, then it becomes easier for us to engage, not as an act of charity, as you have heard from these platforms, but as an act of justice. Not as a request for war or divisiveness, but as the start for an era of enlightenment and a healing that will allow us to show the rest of the world what we all know, that when human beings live together, see each other, feel each other, hear each other, share with each other, a better world can be had. I call upon us here not to treat to this as just simply another event, but to recognize that in all that we do, domestically and internationally, that the time has come to remake and reshape the rules that allow our people to be seen, heard, and felt. And it shall only come if we remain resolute in that journey. President Mahama, the people of the Caribbean have come to join hands. Our CARICOM 10-point plan did not just drop out of the wilderness. We ask specifically in this plan, and I share with you the details of that request, a full and formal apology by those responsible, an Indigenous Peoples Development Program, for we must never forget the genocide of our Indigenous people that took place even before the institution of slavery was started. The repatriation and resettlement of our people for those who want, the restitution of cultural heritage and cultural reconnection, the remedying of the public health crisis that was as a result of centuries of exploitation, the capacity building and development through education and training that is so necessary to correct the deficit which we inherited at independence, the compensation for gender-based violence and assault on family, no different from the compensation that has been awarded to other nationalities such as the Japanese, psychological rehabilitation, the right to sovereignty and development through technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And my friends, yes, in the spirit of the Bridgetown Initiative, debt cancellation, monetary compensation, and decolonization. I share these things and topics with you because in this room, each one of us can find common purpose with at least one or more of the requests of the Caribbean community. And I ask us, therefore, let us not embark on separate journeys, but let us today reflect the unity of purpose, the recognition that whether it is through advocacy or advisory opinions or actions, our role is to ensure that there is no retreat from our requests and that we recognize that repair comes after recognition. For in all that we do in the rest of our lives, where damage is perpetrated, repair is always, always required. May God bless Africa and the Caribbean. May God bless Ghana and Barbados. May God bless each of us and give us the resolve to continue this battle, conscious that in Adwa 130 years ago, it was not expected that they could win. We today, in spite of the odds, know, in the words of Gramps Morgan just now, that Jah shall wash away our tears and that we shall win and survive. Thank you. Before I leave the stage, President Mahama, please allow me. In Barbados, we will open later this year on the 28th of November a monument that reflects our reverence to 570 slaves that were buried on the Newton plantation. It is part of what we term the reclaiming of our Atlantic destiny. The monument has been designed by a son of Africa who lives right here, David Ajay. And we want to invite all of you, because this is just the beginning of the telling of our story. We have the second largest transatlantic slave records, and we know that for this movement to be real and effective, it cannot be the movement of governments and university lecturers and lawyers and economists alone. It must be a movement of the people. Join us in Barbados on November 28th. Thank you.
Prime Minister